I'm seriously okay if he never takes a starting snap again. I mean, that was pathetic.
I mean, I've been on the same road with you. I mean, I feel like both me and you and it's really just been me and you for a couple of years now that have been so, trying to stay positive and hoping that there will be some kind of improvement
I'm
in
done,
his
dude.
play.
I'm done. Sayonara, James Blackman.
Hey guys, it's Terrence Mann. You're listening to Hear the Spear presented by NoleGameday. Go Noles.
Hey, what's up? This is Peter Ward, aka P-Dub, in the house. We're listening to Hear the Spear presented by NoleGameday. Go live, go Noles.
Hi, this is Charlie Ward, and you're listening to Hear the Spear. Go Noles.
This is Terrell Buckley. You're listening to Hear the Spear presented by NoleGameday. No Bloody.
But perhaps better known as the greatest corner to ever step on a football field, Deion Primetime Sanders.
Great Deion Sanders, my brother. What's going on, man? I could wake up to that greeting every day, man. That was awesome.
Hello, Noles fans. This is former Seminole Derek Brooks, and you're listening to Hear the Spear, presented to you by NoleGameday.
James Wilder Jr. What's going on, James?
Thanks for having me on. SSOD, Florida State or Die, and go Noles.
William Bar None Floyd.
Gentlemen, what's up?
What is happening, guys? This is Logan from Here the Spear, presented to you by NoleGameday. We are here actually on this ugly Thursday afternoon, recording with me as our lead writer and editor, Dustin Lewis, along with our lead basketball writer, Austin Beasy. We are here to recap the Florida State versus Georgia Tech game. Florida State ended up losing their season opener. We're going to recap that, also go along and look at some of the guys that are going to be leaving the program that are entering the transfer portal. We're also going to try to take some positives out of the game that happened on Saturday. And then we'll see if anybody's going to change their record prediction after this. And then I think Austin has a few little baby updates on some basketball stuff, and then we're going to end it off with FSU Trivia. In the middle of this, we're going to pick our top 3 worst minor injuries. But that's pretty much it. What's going on, gentlemen? Good to have you with us, Dustin. I know you weren't there for our instant reaction that Nate, I, and Austin were there for, but what's happening? How you feeling?
Feeling amazing, dude. How about you?
I feel great. I have like a little bit of a stuffy nose. I think we're all getting hit with something here, but I think we're gonna be all right. We'll make it through. Austin's really struggling, actually.
Yeah, we're here.
What do you have right now, Austin?
Some sort of sinus infection.
Yeah, not great. So we're all hanging in there. Good thing it's a bye week, so we get some time to rest. A good time if we're all gonna be sick at the same time. Might as well have it now, before football games going on Saturday. But as always, I want to remind you guys, if you're listening now on whatever platform, make sure you hit a like on the screen and share with your friends. Also, if you're listening just simply on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, make sure you subscribe. You can, if you're on iTunes, feel free to rate us 5 stars and leave a review. It does help a lot. Make sure you hit that follow button, whichever platform you're on, so then you'll be notified every time that we release a new episode or new post. But yeah, Florida State loses their season opener. All of us on here predicted Florida State to get away with this one and have a win, probably a really solid one in Tallahassee, but we were completely wrong. Completely wrong. All of us are going to start off the season, if we're including Nate, 0-4 for us here on Hear the Spear.
The entire NoleGameday staff is 0-1. If you look at that weekly staff score predictions piece we put up, 8 people, 0-1.
Yeah, everybody took a major. Everybody took a major hit. Georgia Tech went 3-9 last season. They're going to start out the season 1-0 after facing Florida State with a true freshman quarterback who once was committed to Florida State. James Blackman goes 23 of 43, 198 yards, averaging 4.6 yards pass. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, a QBR rating of a fantastic, beautiful 21.7. On the other side, Jeff Sims, true freshman for Georgia Tech, goes 24-35, 277 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and a QBR of 74.6 compared to Blackman's 21.7. Let's just go ahead and jump into it, Dustin, since you weren't here. And I mean, I've been able to sleep, I've been able to think, and I sounded pretty like out of it on Saturday. I was absolutely exhausted when we did the instant reaction. But have you had any time to think, Dustin, about what happened on Saturday with Blackman? Like, what is going on?
I mean, just straight up, he was late on his reads, or he just missed reads, or he held the ball too long. I mean, that was the name of the game. Every quarter after the first quarter, I believe the first quarter he went 7 out of 9 passing, looked pretty good, and then from there it just seemed like he completely broke down. I don't know if that was because of some of the offensive linemen going down, and he just started to feel less confident about what was in front of him. But Blackman was late on his throws, missing reads. I mean, he had so many guys that were wide open, and he just flat out missed them or threw it late, so the receiver got hit right as the ball got there, and they couldn't make the catch. So a lot of the offensive struggles on Saturday go directly on James Blackman's shoulders.
You know what interests me the most is I sat back yesterday and went through all the interviews that the coaches were having, some of the players, but I was looking at Dillingham and Norvell, and I mean, they're still, I mean, obviously there's coaches talk in there and blah, 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 but I mean, I think a lot of people are expecting that Florida State's going to throw a new quarterback out there against Miami. But from what all I heard and what it seemed like, that I mean, you're going to see Blackman down there in Coral Gables on Saturday, next Saturday against Miami.
Sadly.
And I'd call that a mistake.
Yeah.
Do you think Norvell's do you think Norvell's in deep doo-doo if he does that?
I get what he's trying to do. I get what he's trying to do, where he's trying to give his team the best chance to win, but I think at this point, we'd rather just take the lumps with Rodemaker or Purdy when he's healthy, instead of seeing the same thing we've seen for 3-4 years now.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. I'd rather have a true freshman out there making mistakes and beginning to develop, rather than Blackman making the same mistakes 4 years into his career. So I feel like I've been one of the biggest defenders of Blackman on this pod all off season, but after Saturday, man, I'm seriously okay if he never takes a starting snap again. I mean, that was pathetic.
I mean, I've been on the same road with you. I mean, I feel like both me and you, and it's really just been me and you for a couple of years now that have been so, trying to stay positive and hoping that there will be some kind of improvement
I'm done, dude.
Play.
I'm done. Sayonara, James Blackman.
Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Well, we'll get to the part where some players are leaving the program, but that's not the case for Blackman. He's going to probably be here until probably 2025. But we'll get into more Miami talk. But let's go back to the game. So the only reason Jordan Travis was into the game is because Florida State was in desperate mode of having some kind of just kind of motivation on offense, trying to get some kind of optimism of making a play. Someone just please get a first down and try to bring up some momentum. But Jordan Travis goes in there, and you want to guess who your leading rusher is? Well, it is your backup quarterback that only got a few snaps throughout the game. Jordan Travis is your leading rusher with 39 yards, not LaDamian Webb, and definitely not Deshaun Corbin. What are y'all's thoughts on that? I mean, no rushing.
I give the offensive line credit because, they were solid, at least the starters were, but at least in pass protection, they didn't look like they had much push run blocking, but it also seemed like Georgia Tech was bringing too many people for them to block. There wasn't a lot of holes for them. There was a lot of times where they got caught up in the backfield. When they got loose, they looked really good once they got past that first wave of defenders, but that was few and far between.
Yeah, the running game was a disappointment, to put it lightly. I mean, to only net, 57 yards between your two running backs against a Georgia Tech defense that we talked about was one of the worst in the entire country last year. I mean, it's just absolutely pathetic. I mean, what the heck are we doing? The offensive line did have 4 out of the 5 starters go down. Of course, the only guy that didn't get hurt was Bavion Johnson, who can't even snap the ball. So it was just, I mean, it was just the worst way this game could go on both ends. I mean, really, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't throw the ball because Blackman wasn't making reads. Couldn't run the ball because the offensive line sucked. The running backs would just get taken down instantly. I mean, this is like your worst scenario outing for the Mike Norvell era to start off. And yeah, it still sucks.
we're on Thursday afternoon, and it still sucks for Dustin straight out the bat. I'm right there with Dustin on a lot of things. I mean, I've had time. I think that whenever we were doing our instant reaction, that's where I was pretty much like, what in the hell just happened? Pathetic. And yeah, I mean, you got Damian Webb, Deshaun Corbin had 18 yards on 6 carries.
I mean, you take out the sacks that Blackman took, and he's your leading rusher, and he also had the longest carry out of anyone on the day with 16 yards. I mean, it's just sad.
Yeah.
Your longest pass of the day ends up being 27 yards. I mean, you created no offensive plays that were over 30 yards. You created no big plays.
No. And a lot of that also goes to, look at also Tamarion Terry, who, we know lost his grandma either earlier or late in the night, day before, or early in the morning. So he just really wasn't with it whatsoever. That was the first time I've seen him where he didn't want to say a single word throughout the whole game. I mean, usually he is your high-spirited guy and chit-chatting and, actually communicating, but he just wasn't there. You could tell mentally. And then, of course, it goes into his gameplay wherever he drops 6 points, which you don't really see that from him much at all, but that happened. And Blackman was actually able to hit him, and it just didn't work out. But, wide receivers also weren't helping Blackman. It was a mix of it was just a mix of Blackman and wide receivers not being on, and Blackman missing reads. Keyshawn Helton, I know personally, I saw multiple times where Keyshawn Helton was wide open, but Blackman just didn't see him. He wasn't doing his drop downs, and he just was not able to see his wide receivers. That was the first time, Dustin, I've seen Blackman not want to take shots. I mean, he literally had to be forced to take shots. I think they went over to the sideline in the fourth quarter and told him to please throw this ball deep over there. And of course, since it was forced and everything, it was 10 yards ahead of his targets.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't get it with James Blackman. I mean, to me, that was arguably the worst game he's ever played in his career at Florida State. I've already talked about all the misreads and things like that, but I mean, man, even as a leader over on the sidelines, I didn't see James Blackman trying to bring guys together and be like, all right, well, we screwed up that drive. Next drive, let's come back and put something together and go score. I mean, they all just kind of sat there on the bench, waited for the defense to either block a field goal or give up points, and then went back out there to do nothing again. So, like I said, to me, this is just extremely, extremely disappointing.
It's the same thing with Blackman that we keep seeing. Like, he starts off great, like you noted earlier, and then he does one bad thing that's just in his head the rest of the game. Like, it's your 4th year. You can't be doing this. You got to learn to move past things.
Yeah, and I mean, the interception that he threw, he had the ball in the pocket for 5 seconds or so, just looking downfield. Finally just throws it over to the sideline and gets it picked off. I'm like, man, if there's no one open, just throw it away. Like, do something. And he just throws it right into the Georgia Tech defender.
Yeah, that one was tough to see, I'll be honest. I mean, I don't know how you do that. He wasn't really even throwing it out of bounds. I mean, it was just kind of, hey, here you go. I give up. You can have the ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just tossed it to him. He's like, all right, play over. And then it was either in
Atlanta.
the third or the fourth quarter. I think Devontae Love-Taylor got down. Chaz Neal comes in for his first play, gets absolutely
God.
ripped, and James Blackman sack fumble. Georgia Tech gets it. I think the defense ended up forcing them to a field goal in that possession. But I mean, either way, you put them right there in the red zone with a chance to basically end the game. So thanks, Chaz Neal. I'm glad I picked you as one of my 3 offensive players under the radar. What a joke.
No.
They're on my radar now.
What radar is he on now for you?
The garbage radar.
Yeah, no, I mean, but that also, you should, as a veteran, definitely a quarterback, but as a veteran guy that's been on this team and just a quarterback in college, you should probably expect if you're losing that tackle on that side of the ball, they're probably going to send it on your ass, and they're probably going to try to get a sack off of you from behind, and that's what happens. I mean,
Well, the problem was it was just way too easy.
yeah,
Like
I mean,
Chaz Neal, I don't even think he touched the guy.
Oh, he got cooked. Like, it was bad.
well, now that
I mean, but part of that's play design. Like, you got to leave more than just a running back there to chip. Like, you got to give Chaz Neal some help.
I don't even think they chipped for him.
That's what I'm saying.
Said,
There was a running back on
Chaz.
Yeah, there was a running back on that side, but jeez, he got just smoked, diced. However you want to classify it, it was that.
everything. Yeah, so that doesn't help anything. I mean, I don't know what it was. Blackman didn't want to throw the ball, and like Austin said, and we talked about in the instant reaction podcast. Blackman, you actually had some blocking, buddy, some pass protection. I mean, I would sit there and be like, for even if it's against Georgia, like, I don't give a damn. If you're protecting and you're actually allowing your quarterback to have some time, then, there can't be any more complaining. You can't be having all this happy feet mess. Stay in the pocket, make your reads, and throw the football. But that just was not going to happen. That was not in his mental brains that day. We were hoping that we'd see an improvement mentally from him, but it just didn't seem. He just was swarmed up in his head, and it looked a lot like that Virginia game, to be honest, that he had last year.
When he did take shots, it was at the complete wrong time. Like that 4th and 1 where he had the fullback or running back open in the flat by like 30 yards. He takes a 25-yard shot downfield to Warren Thompson, who's in double coverage. Like, come on, man, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where to watch film on, like, I just want to watch film on the wide receivers routes and count how many players were actually open, Man, I don't know if I really want to do that because my paper, I'll run out of ink. But I don't know. It's a bad look on offense, and then you move over to defense, and you see also it should be against the law that Keyshawn Helton only had 1 reception. That's when you know that's just a terrible day, and your leading receiver is just yeah. That should be against the law, and then it also should be against the law that Deshaun Corbin. I mean, it's not terrible, but I mean, still, your Deshaun Corbin was your leading receiver with 55 yards. Terry with 52. I don't know, just a clutter fest of bad things with the offense on Saturday. Not a good look against a 3-9 team last year and a defense that had numerous guys that also weren't playing in this game. Just a note.
Yeah, they'd have either their starting defensive ends or their best corner, who was all ACC last year. And we scored.
Yeah.
Barely got double digits. Barely.
Mm-hmm. And it's good to note, too, I mean, unless Tamaron Terry is getting guarded by Jalen Ramsey, numerous guys in the NFL or future first rounders, why aren't you throwing the ball to him? It doesn't make sense to me. Even Keyshawn Helton, if he's one-on-one, throw the ball to your playmakers. Too much talent that can take care of business with one-on-ones. But that's why I don't even want to watch film, because if I look back and I see Terry's just one-on-one with whatever route, take the shot. Don't take the sack or don't throw the interception. But that's just the offense as a whole. We could ramble about it all day long. But then let's move over to the best part. Defense. Did Marvin Wilson and Corey Durden play Saturday? Does anybody know? Were they there?
No.
It's a real question.
No. Besides on special teams.
Yeah. How about your man Marvin Wilson, Dustin? League first round?
He'd be lucky to be an undrafted free agent after that one. I
But
mean,
seriously, like, what was going on with the defensive line? I mean, you lose Kane Doe early on in the game, and luckily it seems like he's going to come out and not have a long lingering injury. But I mean, Robert Cooper was your best defensive lineman. Then next to him was probably Janarius Robinson.
yeah, I mean, it goes back to what I said about the offense. It was a very, very disappointing outing for the defense, especially the interior of that defensive line. I mean, I don't remember them doing much of anything other than missing Jeff Sims on tackles and letting them get out of the pocket and scramble downfield on every third down, it felt like. And FSU only got one sack on the day, and it was a combination between Amari Gaynor and Raymond Woody, a linebacker and a defensive back. So the D line couldn't even get a sack against Georgia Tech offense, who I want to say we completely trashed last week during the preview. So respect to Georgia Tech, because they just made Florida State look like a bunch of dumbasses.
Yeah, no defensive line there in Tallahassee from Florida State. Corey Durden did have a really interesting backspin. I don't know what was going on there. Fabian Lovett looked like he had like 10 cinder blocks tied to his ankles. Emmett Rice dropped a pick six. Asante Samuel, even though he got 2 interceptions, those also should have been pick sixes. I don't know. I love Asante Samuel Jr. I think that he is a dog, and it's great to have him on that defense. I mean, that as a Florida State DB who we'll get to it, how DB should be at FSU, but should be on one-on-ones and not having to worry about zone crap. But Asante Samuel, my man, we need to make some cuts. You're going against like a 300-pound lineman off to the sideline. Make your cut infield and take it to the house for 6. That happened both times where I need you to just, don't run into the offensive player that's going to tackle you. Go get the 6 points. Just to say it nicely, like, just come on. I know your defense, so you're not an offensive guy, but still, I think we need you to go get 6. Obviously, that's 2 touchdowns for Florida State that it should have been 3.
Yep.
Rice, actually 4. 4 touchdowns that Florida State missed out on, which is crazy to think of. So Tamarion Terry's 6 points. That would have been 6. Asante Samuel's both interceptions should have been pick sixes, and Emmett Rice's pick 6. Four things that really hurt Florida State in this game, and that's something that Florida State continues to do. They just find different ways to lose. That's what Nate said on our instant reaction. Florida State continues to find new ways to lose games, where they shouldn't at all.
Yeah, and plus, I believe it was either the second or third drive, you had that third down that James Blackman threw it to Warren Thompson inside the 10. That would have been a first down conversion, and then they reversed it, and Florida State had to kick the field goal. So, I mean, that's another potential touchdown right there off the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Warren Thompson, once again, when you need him on a third down, I believe it was getting close. It might have been getting close in the red zone, drops the ball. But then...
it was a trash throw.
Yeah, but it still hits his hands. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's about as best as you're gonna get.
How much are we going to roast Tamarion Terry for dropping that touchdown that was in his hands?
That was terrible, too. I mean, that's 6 points. I mean, like I said, the wide receivers didn't really help much whenever they had the chance, or the small chances from Blackman whenever he was deciding to throw the ball. But yeah, that's offensively. But yeah, you got a few young linebackers in there. Steven Dix Jr. had some time, which I'd just go ahead and throw him in there more. Go ahead with how the season.
Yeah, he looked pretty decent. Laid a dude out on kickoff too.
Yeah, he did. I was loving it, every bit of it.
I thought probably your best defensive player on Saturday was, without a doubt, Amari Gaynor at that stud linebacker position. I mean, time and time again, it seemed like he was coming up to make a tackle for loss on the outside on wide receivers whenever Georgia Tech was trying to do like a short screen pass with a wide receiver blocking. I mean, he would just go through the receiver every time and just make the tackle. And then a couple other times he came up through the middle and made some nice plays. So just defensively, I thought Amari, and then you mentioned Asante with those turnovers, that really helped. But other than that, I mean, just not a lot of positives to take away from this performance. I mean, we were hearing a lot of stuff about how Adam Fuller was going to completely change his defense, how they were dominating the offense, and then they come out and lay a dud other than those 2 interceptions and 2 blocked field goals.
I think there's obviously it was very disappointing for fans, and I mean I think everybody's used to it now. I mean when you're going from 2016 now to 2020 or 2017 to 2020, and you just having continuous winning or losing season openers, it's you just get used to it, and you just hate that because this is Florida State. And I don't know. Was there any positives that you guys can take from this game?
Special teams?
Yeah, special teams.
I mean, special teams does go a long way. Like, if you're really good in special teams, I mean, it shows that coaching's there, at least. And we've had bad special teams for a while. But kick returns look good, punt returns look good, kick and punt coverage look good. Even outside of the block field goals, like, special teams was somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, it was nice. And I did think Travis Jay is going to end up being one of the top 5, if not top 3 best players on this team by the end of the year, honestly. Just too much talent, and he's going to end up bringing one back very soon. I thought he was going to have a chance on Saturday, but he's going to be solid. He is most certainly going to be solid. He had about 75 yards in kick return, 1 punt return, 16 yards. I do think he is, and obviously the Aussie from down under, Florida State's punter, Alex Mastronimo. I said that terribly. Monimo, whatever. Average 48 yards, almost 50 yards a punt, which is pretty damn solid on Saturday with three punts. So I think the special teams is definitely something optimistic to look at. I do think that the offensive line, if they can stay healthy and they can give pass protection still and can keep that up, then that's another solid thing, because it actually looked like a unit that was in unison with one another, whereas in the last couple of years it looked like a complete cluster F. They actually looked like they were in some kind of unison, and I'm very high on Coach Atkins, and I think it's going to only get better. But I do think we were seeing signs of improvement there on offensive line that was really needed. To me, who do you think is RB1, Webb or Corbin?
I think Corbin's more. I don't know the right way to say this. Like, he's not more versatile because Webb, I think, is a little bit of a better receiver. But I think Corbin's going to be a little bit more of a steady hand, whereas Webb's more of a change of pace back.
Honestly, right now I just kind of have it as a question mark because neither of them did much to impress me during the first game. I know Corbin caught a couple nice passes, and like you said, he was the leading receiver for Florida State on Saturday. But, I mean, at least running-wise, neither of them did too much to be very impressive, and I think Norvell is just going to keep going with that change of pace one after the other until one guy starts to take over.
Yeah, Florida State and Norvell early in the game when going off to the side with either one of them, mainly Webb. I mean, that was successful, and then that completely stopped. I don't know what happened to that, because I like how Webb is. I do think he has a little bit more he has more things he can give to you than Corbin, to me. But we'll see. I don't know. I think that unit is everything but RB1. I think it's going to be 50-50 for a good while, unless someone really starts impressing and it turns into like a 60-40. But that running back unit, I think, still needs some answers, to be honest. Any more positives? Is that pretty much it? I mean, there's not much to really go off of, positively wise.
I mean, it also marks us one day closer to basketball season. That's a positive.
One game down closer to basketball season.
Yeah, that's all I'm counting down at this point.
It's hard to be positive when Georgia Tech outgains your offense by 130 yards and they have less time of possession. So
that's it. I mean, you have a pretty strong point there. I will say there is a positive. There is something positive. Asante Samuel Jr. did have 2 interceptions, but the yardage is what I look at, and he brought it back for 69 yards.
That's very
nice number.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's something really positive. I put that above the special teams. I mean, that's great. 69-yard returns and his 2 interceptions. So good job, Asante Samuel Jr. Good stuff there. But yeah, let's move on from the Georgia Tech game. As we know, everybody, it is a bye week, so we will not jump right into some Miami stuff. So we're going to kind of go on to our quick hitters. Actually, we need to jump into let's just jump into our quick hitters and then go into our top 3 worst segment, which is going to be top 3 worst minor injuries. Brought to you by Dustin Lewis. But real quick, former FSU wide receiver DJ Matthews is in the transfer portal. It was hard for me not to say finally before that because I feel like that's been the case for Matthews for a good while now. But he is now in the transfer portal, guys. Does this affect Florida State in a good way or a bad way?
I mean, James Blackman just lost his roommate.
I think we saw it with Norvell's reaction when he talked about it in the press conference. He started smiling. That tells you all you need to know.
Yeah. If nobody knows, in the press conference, I believe yesterday, Mike Norvell was asked about DJ Matthews and what's the status on him and what's going on there. And he just was kind of like, I don't really care, and just was smiling and being like, okay, I don't know. But yeah, DJ Matthews is no longer in the Florida State's football program. He's in the transfer portal. So best of luck to DJ. Kind of just throughout his career was 50-50 in the locker room and seemed to be somewhat of a
like
problem.
2080.
He had that good touchdown against Boston College.
He returned a punt for a touchdown one time. Then Miami still won.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. We'll remember him mostly from his east and west. Mainly from his east and west running instead of north and south. That's what I'll remember the most. Yeah, it's about as much as we can really put in a summary. But yeah, DJ Matthews no longer. I don't think it's a hit at all for Florida State. And then this one was kind of shocking. Isaiah Bolden, who most recently moved from DB to wide receiver, is deciding to hit the transfer portal. What could this be? I mean, is it because of PT? Is it because of the staff? What do you guys think on Bolden's situation? Because he doesn't want to be in Tallahassee.
It's because he's a tagger guy and has a weak mentality.
Dude, I was literally gonna say tagger guy. I don't know. I just think maybe he wasn't too happy with Mike Norvell or whoever suggesting he take a shot at wide receiver, and then whenever he did make that move to wide receiver, he didn't see any snaps on Saturday, so maybe that just irked him a little bit. He's like, well, I'm a DB, they changed me to wide receiver, then they don't play me at wide receiver, so I don't know.
Yeah. He's just soft. That's all it is.
I mean, I'm not trying to trash players on this podcast, but Bolden contributed less than
not trash players. Hold on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna let people know when they play like shit. Like I'm gonna tell you how it is, but I'm not going out of my way to trash you. Don't make me trash you. I will if you shit the bed, but I'm not trying to.
What is Chaz Neal's radar right now? What is he on?
He's on the garbage radar, bro. When I was in high school, I used to play offensive line. They used to put trash cans in front of us to work on blocking. I would rather have one of those than Chaz Neal. That's how you trash a player, guys.
Oh man, you were using trash cans? Were you like?
Yeah, they put them down in front of us, and they line them up like the defensive line and linebackers, and they say, go to the trash can that's like your assignment.
Gotcha. Oh man, that was mean. That's tough. That's tough. But yeah, DJ Matthews and Isaiah Bolden are hitting the transfer portal on bye week here in Tallahassee. Let's see. Last thing here. Here we go.
All Seminole Nation is waving.
Sending their goodbyes.
Get on your ground and get the out of here.
Let's see here. Well, let's see. Is anyone going to change their record prediction now? Everybody.
I'll take 1-10.
So here's what I was going to ask. What do you think is more likely? FSU loses every single game, or they find a way to get a positive record?
No.
Dustin didn't get his chance to do his instant reaction, so I think that's what he's doing right now. He saved all of it until now. Like, he tried to distract himself about this game on Saturday for this whole week, and now that it's back on his mind, he gets to unleash what he's been trying to block the last couple of days.
I'm so enraged.
Wait, so I went 8-3. Dustin, you went 8-3. How does that feel?
I feel like an idiot.
One loss down. So what? You better what? So now it's just Notre Dame and Clemson.
Graduated top 90% of my class for a reason, everyone.
Say that again.
Graduated top 90% of my class for a reason. I'm an idiot.
I don't think anyone believes you for that.
All right, top 95%.
I was about to
say. Oh man. Yeah, 8-3, and Austin went 7-4. Austin, are you going 6-5? What are you thinking?
6-5.
I did say in my prediction I was closer to 6-5 than 8-3.
You just went 1-10. What are you laughing at, Dustin?
Yeah.
Because that's what I would pick.
I think they'll find a way to win a couple games. You'd hope they'd beat Jacksonville State.
So right now, Florida State has 6 teams remaining on their schedule who are currently ranked in the top 25. Miami, Notre Dame, North Carolina, Louisville, Pittsburgh, and Clemson are all ranked.
It's going to be the 3-8 or 4-7. It's not going to be good.
Ooh, man. Yikes.
But I do think let Nate talk me into FSU beating Miami.
Yeah, I don't know. That was interesting.
Nate tells elite lies.
Nate was thinking that they were going to beat him by like 4 touchdowns.
He said 84-2.
For his point, did he pick which team was going to have 84 points? He might have said Miami all along.
Said Florida State by 80. Which to me seems like a questionable pick at this point.
At this point in time, yeah. Just don't give your prediction fully, but what are y'all's thoughts on Florida State versus Miami? Just one.
I mean, it's a lot of things can happen in a bye week.
And it's a rivalry game.
Yeah.
It's a positive way to look at it. That was more positive than I thought we were going to have. Way more positive.
I don't think Florida State necessarily gets trashed this game, but if they don't come out and start strong in the first quarter, it could get ugly.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting
it. Like if they don't come out ready to fight after the way they just got whooped by Georgia Tech, then it's going to be a long year. I think I said it after Saturday. We're going to learn a lot about this team after this bye week and when they take the field in Miami. Like when that game is over, I think we're going to know a lot more about how the 2020 season outlook is really going to be.
Yeah, because there's still, I mean, like Dustin said, that there is a lot of ranked ACC teams left to be played on this schedule, and if you're not ready to play and get after it, then it could get bad. But I'm hoping on the optimistic side. I do think, though, another positive. I do think this coaching staff is a lot more competent than what we've seen in the last couple of years. It actually seems, hopefully
That does not take much.
It doesn't take much, no, but it's more of a positive sign heading into another game that you've got to play better, that things have got to change rather than what Florida State's had in the last couple of years, where you just knew not much is really going to be adjusted, or game plan's not going to be moved around. It seemed like there was more organization on Saturday, and guys, I think were put into positions and put into certain places where they could make plays, and they just weren't done. I mean, I named off 4 touchdowns that Florida State should have had, but it just wasn't executed by the players. And that's got to piss off a coaching staff, but you've got to hope, hey, let's go look at the film room. Let's also look at why this happened and why, this game shouldn't have even been close heading into the second half. So I think this team is not, it is not a complete crap show right now, unless you see the same mistakes being made on next Saturday night, which is going to be primetime ABC. So you're going to be on national television, and you're going to want to hope that you are not, making these silly mistakes that is going to cost your team. And they're not really that much of silly mistakes, but they're ones that, Emmett Rice, come on, man, you're a veteran linebacker. We've heard great things about you this offseason. Man, you can't be smiling after that, after you just dropped a pick 6, my man. And it's just the little things that have got to be changed. And I do think that there is optimism that there will actually be a decently played game on next Saturday night. Fingers crossed that there's actually some quarterback play. But yeah, I had to get some positives in there before we get all the comments saying, well, they just talk crap the whole time. But yeah, I think there are a few positives to look at after Saturday, and things can get better. Let's run into our top 3 worst segment, gentlemen. This week it's going to be top 3 worst minor injuries. If you're just now listening to this podcast, we do a top 3 worst segment. We do it every week, and all of us on here pick our top 3 worst of whatever category it is. This time it's minor injuries. Anybody want to go first?
What are we classifying as a minor injury?
It could be a paper clip. It can be like a paper cut,
Paper clip.
Oh, we're not talking about something that takes like 3 or 4 weeks to get over?
Yeah. Nothing too crazy. Not like an ACL tear or whatnot.
No. I wasn't thinking that.
Jesus. Who recovers from an ACL tear that fast?
I'll say it, and if it doesn't count, just let me know.
All right.
Sprained ankle. Does that count? That
Yeah.
counts? Okay. Yeah, I've sprained my ankle at least twice, and I fractured it. Rolled it countless times. It's not fun. It is not fun.
No. They're terrible.
I'm pretty sure my ankle is permanently disfigured from the amount of times I've sprained it. Doesn't even look right anymore.
It's like your foot 90 degrees up or something on your ankle.
It's like my ankle joint on the outside of my ankle is permanently swollen, but it doesn't hurt at all. Just used to it.
Mine just part of sprained ankles is every time you sprain it, it gets a little bit weaker, a little bit weaker. I can feel how weak mine is, and that's sad.
Jesus.
I physically cannot play basketball or any sporting activity without an ankle brace, and it sucks.
True. I'll go second. Mine's going to be like a sprained finger, because you don't ever figure out how many times you use your hands until you've done. It's like your ankle, but also just your hand and a finger that isn't working. It's not going to be there for you, and you can't. If you just nudge it just to the right a little bit or left, it feels like your hand you rather amputate your hand. It sucks definitely when you're trying to pick up something and whatnot.
Like when you jam your finger on a basketball or something.
I had jam fingers on mine.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Yeah. Mainly I'd get them in football and stuff, and it would suck, man, because you can't lift with it. You can't write. It's hard to eat certain things. And I'm like a really dominant right-handed person. My left hand can barely do a damn thing. If anybody wanted to attack me, make sure you go after my left side, because I'm screwed. But yeah, just spraining your finger, or just just knocking it with the football or basketball like that and jamming it. Ooh, God, hurts.
I guess I'm up next. My top 3 worst minor injury is gonna be a hangnail, because especially on your finger, you just have that little piece of like nail/skin thing hanging off the side. And you're like, man, that's really annoying. And you pull on it and you just rip your whole finger off.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah, that does suck. Those burn, and then like when you're washing your hands, it's just stinging the whole time you're taking a shower.
Yeah. Like the rest of the day, I'm like, wow, I really regret that. Should have just let that piece of skin stay there. I guess it's going. Yeah.
I guess you bring us back around, don't you?
So my next one I'm gonna say is just like the day before you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. And then the next day you go to sleep, you wake up and your back just hurts. You get out of bed and your back is just hurting. You're like, dude, what did I do yesterday? You're trying to think, did I do anything where I might have tweaked my back? You're like, no, I watched TV.
And that's
like
nothing
random
new for
back pain.
So now I've had 2 of mine taken between the jammed finger and now. I literally replaced that with pulled back. So now I got to find a 5th. Good Lord.
Well, I'll give you some time. Mine is, I'm just thinking about it and it hurts, but it can go for like a toenail or a fingernail. But whenever you're, we're guys, we'll be biting our fingernails or whatever, and like we'll pull it and you go a little bit too far, and for the rest of like 2 days, it's so raw. Like your fingernails are raw under there, and then like if you get your toenails and you're having to walk with socks on or like shoes, and you know that you pulled your toenails or cut them too short, and it's just bothering you. Oh, it's the worst feeling ever. I mean, it just hurts so badly. I mean, it seems like Dustin's gone through that quite a bit. I guess not.
No reaction.
No reaction in this podcast.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Go ahead, Austin.
So this is my second replacement or I guess third replacement. I don't know, however you want to classify it. Any kind of Charlie horse. I get them in my calves and my thighs a lot, and it always happens like 3 a.m, and I hate it.
Yes. Oh my God.
And and then you deal with it for like 2 hours, and it's the worst. I pulled my hamstring the other night because of it. I was so mad.
Bro, I woke up like 4 a.m. I had to go to the bathroom, and I just have a giant calf cramp. I'm like, what is going on? I just fall over.
I had a huge cramp in the middle of the night literally in my hamstring, so I roll over, and then I can't walk for 2 days. It was horrible.
Oh man.
How I was next day. I woke up. It felt like I had done leg day. I'm like, why?
Like you have to literally jump out of bed. No matter if you were sleeping so good, you have to get out of that bed and hit the floor and just sprawl out.
Sometimes I just start screaming.
What?
Because it's cramping so bad I can't get it to stop. I just scream.
Okay. You just cry for your mom or something?
Just like a battle cry.
Water. 4 a.m. Your girlfriend's not getting up to help you. We know that. You wish. You're there by yourself, buddy. I guess you bring us back around, Austin, for your third.
Yeah, for my worst minor injury, because I deal with it every day. Knee soreness.
Oh.
Yeah. Especially because I used to play basketball a ton, just in the street and in driveways, and it has shredded my knees.
Yeah.
Now it's now anytime I go to play basketball, I've got to stretch for 20 minutes before and after. It hurts while I'm playing. Then I wake up the next day feeling like I got hit by a train.
The worst part is after you play like an hour or whatever at basketball, and then you get in your car and drive home. Whenever you step out of your car, you're like,
Oh,
yeah.
shit, my knees.
And it's even worse for me because I've had hip surgery, which affected my knees because I was relying on my knees more. And now it's like, oh my God, I'm 23 years old and I feel like I'm 63.
Holy crap. Yeah, no, I agree. I relate to that with I tore my ACL, but I don't really have that much of pain like you do. But I do remember, whenever you are outside running around and you get into a car and you're staying in that same motion, and then you get up out of the car and you just feel it like you almost collapse. Like you're like, oh my God, oh my God. It
literally just happened. Yeah, it literally just happened to me last night. I went to go play basketball with my coworkers. I get home at like 11:30. I step out of my car. I'm like, should have just stayed in my car.
Yeah. Mine. What is this? Is my third. So, or whatever it is. One. This is gonna be whenever you've fallen down outside on pavement or football, and you've absolutely just incinerated your knees, usually your shins and your knees. But then that's fine. Okay, we're good. But then when you go hit that shower, sometimes you don't even know that you had like a couple of burns right there. But whenever you go into the shower, it's like literally 15,000 needles are in your knees, and you can barely wash that part of your body, and you're struggling, and it hurts so badly. Like it burns the heck out of you.
Yeah, you talking about like grass burn or something?
Like grass burn or even like pavement.
Yeah, like scraping your skin up.
Yeah, just scraping it there, and it I swear it just takes forever for it to heal. Like you have to at least have 2 or 3 showers before it's finally gone, and it takes forever for it to just heal. So I can take a regular shower. I can like take a warm shower without feeling like 10 grenades are going off of my knee, the outside of my knee. All right, you're up. Your last one, Dustin. Oh, wait, no, did you already? Yeah, you're third.
I gave my 3.
Yeah, so my last one is gonna be like whenever you're in your room at night, like getting ready to go to bed, and you're not really even thinking much. You're just like, all right, I'm going to bed soon. You're like walking up to your bed, and you kick like the little bed frame thing under your bed. I don't know about y'all, but that happens. I swear that happens to me like every night. Whether it's my room or I walk into my girlfriend's room and like stub my toe, and I just fall on the ground and like hold my toe and sit on the floor for like 5 minutes, like.
Oh, here he goes.
Some tough scenes, bro.
I see that you.
It doesn't happen to me much. Yeah, it doesn't happen to me much anymore. But like every now and then I'll hit it on the coffee table, and that's the worst.
Yeah,
like, that is legitimately the worst.
Yeah, stubbing your toe, and then you have some nasty things you want to say to that thing. Like I'll usually be like, "Hey, I effing hate you, you piece of whatever," just nasty thing that comes out of my mouth that I probably need to go to church on Sunday to forgive for. Yeah, I say some really bad things after stubbing my toe because it doesn't. Have you ever felt like whenever you stub your toe, and then it takes you just know, and like you'll have 1 second, and then it hits you. Like you have 1 second of preparing for about what's about to come, like how bad the pain's gonna be, and then it finally comes through, and you're like, "Oh my God, holy cow, this sucks."
Yeah, you like
it usually takes about a second.
You stub your toe and you're like, "Oh man, I just screwed up," and then it hits.
Yeah, like it takes, it goes from all the way down there to go all the way up your body to hit your brain, and boom, the pain sensors hit, and it sucks. That's probably the brutal part is just getting ready. Like my anxiety starts going up, and all it takes is a second. I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna boom," that hurts. Yeah. Stubbing your toe is bad. But yeah, that is our top 3 worst minor injury segment. We do that every week to kind of get in between little sports talk there and get into some real world situations. Austin, you got a little bit of basketball updates for us before we go to FSU Trivia to end off the podcast?
Yeah, honestly, not much other than it was official that college basketball will be back November 25th. Thank God.
You heard it in the Discord first. you heard it in the Discord first. Make sure you go to NoleGameday or patreon.com/NoleGameday, and you can get that info before everybody else a week in advance. Go back.
And the way football's going, basketball season cannot come soon enough. Other than that, yeah. Coach Hamilton had a Zoom conference with media yesterday, and there's a couple notable things. The main one being that he kind of hinted that Florida State's going to be adding their 13th scholarship soon. I don't know if that's actually going to be happening. Seeing that we're halfway through September now, I don't know who they're going to find, but apparently they've got somebody, or they're just going to give a scholarship to one of the walk-ons, which wouldn't surprise me either. But yeah, that's basically it. It seems like Hamilton's very excited to be back in the gym around the team again, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I love how you threw in the little, well, I'm glad basketball is kind of getting closer. We know we all need it with this football season.
I mean, am I wrong? Like,
I mean, I said I was going to hit you after you tweeted that thing a couple weeks ago saying that you were hoping
and now you're embracing
it. Hey, one game, unless things are a complete crapshoot on next Saturday, then I don't know what I'll do with myself or my body.
Yeah, real quick on football recruiting, I just have one thing. 2021 three-star offensive tackle Rod Orr is being rumored to commit next week. I know one of the guys on Rivals, one of the recruiting analysts, said something about it earlier this morning that he expects him to make his commitment after, I believe he announced his top 8. It was either in July sounds right. But right now people are predicting him to commit to Florida State. So I guess Rod Orr saw those offensive tackles on Saturday.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
he can play immediately.
Exactly.
He could play this year if he really wanted to. Yeah. That goes to show Coach Atkins, too. Yeah, from what we've heard, he's a really hardworking coach, but also really good with families and recruiting. So,
yeah. Orr would be a really nice get for Florida State.
Really solid, yeah. Really, really nice start on building your next offensive line and trying to get some actual product out there that you can continue to improve on. Because I do like Coach Atkins, so I do think he's going to develop these guys once he grabs them. But yeah, to end off the podcast, let's jump into some FSU trivia. I don't know who's leading. I really don't know. I think it's like.
I think I'm up 2-1.
That
or
sounds
3.
right.
Yeah,
3-2,
it's something like that.
2-1, 3-2.
It's something like that.
You're up 1. Real quick, before we get into this trivia, can we do some potential breaking news real quick?
Oh. Wow. Please do.
Potential breaking news. This isn't official yet, but former Florida State Hall of Fame DB Deion Sanders is expected to be named the head coach at Jackson State.
Here we go.
Jackson
Here we
State.
go.
Yeah.
Jackson State. Is he leaving Barstool? No way he can leave Barstool. Right now. Well, I guess it'd be next season. Well, I guess they probably aren't having a season,
2 weeks.
are
Yeah.
they? Interesting. Is this another one of the just, I thought he was supposed to be a coach at IMG. I thought he was going to be a coach at FSU. Like, could this be true?
Remember he said in an interview earlier this year or late last year that he expected to be a college football head coach in 2020.
Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on that.
But now on to the trivia.
On to Florida State trivia. And this one's going to be a little bit different, too, because, why not just keep on going back and looking at some stats from Saturday?
Oh, God.
Okay.
We want to do this? We really want to do this?
Like stats from this Saturday's game?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't pull it up, though. I know you had it open earlier.
I still have it open.
Yeah, close it.
Well, the good
All
thing
right,
is I
so-
memorized a lot of these numbers, I think. So.
Oh, here we go. Dustin might have an advantage here. Who was Florida State's third leading tackler on Saturday?
Oh, God.
Third leading?
Third leading.
What?
I've got to
Third.
guess, so you go first.
This is actually pretty good. It kind of gives it's a little homework kind of to do here and make sure we know what we're talking about.
I have no idea.
Who was State's third leading tackler on Saturday against the Yellow Jackets?
I'll say J-Rob.
I'm going to say
Yeah,
Lars Woodby.
Lars Woodby didn't have a tackle till the fourth quarter, I thought.
The answer is Leonard Warner III.
Oh, God.
Leonard Warner had 7 tackles, 4 solos, 1 tackle for loss. Who was Florida State's second leading tackler? Who's Florida State's second leading tackler on Saturday?
Emmett?
I mean, I know Amari had the most.
Yeah. Oh my God.
There's animals here, everybody.
Chill, bro.
They're biting at Dustin's ankles.
Asante?
Wrong. Renardo Green.
What?
Yeah.
Well, that's surprising.
Oh no.
I would have never guessed that.
Who was Florida State's fourth leading tackler?
Oh my God.
Bro,
Stop.
can you ask about offense or something?
Seriously.
After this one, but I just want you to see what the difference is in the tackling, because if anybody wants to know, Emmett Rice had Emmett Rice was
What?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th best tackler on Saturday. This is just kind of like a wake-up call on how this Saturday went. But who was Florida State's fourth leading tackler with 5 tackles on Saturday?
I'll say Asante again.
I'm gonna go back to J-Rob.
Jaden Lars Woodby with 5. All right, here we go. Who was Florida State's 5th leading receiver on Saturday?
Oh my God.
Did 5 people
leading
actually
receiver.
catch passes?
I have a feeling I know who 1, 2, and 3 are. I think.
I'm gonna say Toa Philly
I'm going
because
Warren
I remember
Thompson.
him being on there, and Helton was at the very bottom because
Yeah,
he only had the one catch.
I'm going Warren Thompson, but then I don't know who 4th would be. Yeah, I'm just stick with it.
Warren Thompson is number 4. Lawrence Tilla Philly is number 5. Dustin gets this one. That was
I wouldn't have gotten Toa Philly just because I didn't start watching until the third quarter. So
Yeah, you probably wouldn't remember he was out there. You wouldn't have known. So, yep, 2. Now it is a 2-2 between Dustin and Austin right now in our FSU Trivia segment that we do every podcast. So, I kind of like that one. Kind of keeps you
Yo,
from...
Logan.
What up?
I was right on the last question.
Uh-oh.
Which one?
Florida State's 4th leading tackler was Asante Samuel Jr., tied with Jaden Lars Woodby with 5 tackles. They're both tied for 4th.
Well, I gave Jaden a higher up because he had a TFL.
Oh my God, bro! It's still it counts with the total tackles.
Yeah. Well, either way, you got a dub. I know you want your
shouldn't have been this close
credit.
I mean, to be fair, if you go to total tackles, like Jaden's 4th. So like I get.
I mean, they're. I'm looking at it. They're tied.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I'm saying Lars Woodby's listed first. So I get where Logan messed up.
That's how it's going to go from now on. So everybody knows that's how it's going to go right now. Moving
Real
on.
quick, how about your boy Marvin Wilson with 3 total tackles, no tackles for loss, and 1 QB hurry? First round.
He did have one of the 2 QB hurries. You could spin this really positively and say he had 50% of our total QB hurries.
Wow. Put that in an article and ship it
Or
to
I can
NFL.
spin it negatively and say Renardo Green had 3 times as many tackles as Marvin Wilson. And more tackles for loss than Marvin Wilson.
That's why I said it's gonna be great looking back at these stat sheets every week. But hopefully things.
Bro, I just realized none of the defensive linemen had a tackle for loss.
Yeah.
We had 6 tackles for loss, none are by a D lineman.
Yep.
Y'all boys better get a lot better. Holy shit.
Oh man. Well, I think that's going to do it for this podcast, guys. This is a bye week, so on next Thursday we'll be recording previewing the Miami game, which I'm sure will be great. Miami actually faces Louisville this Saturday on prime time with College Game Day and all that, so we'll be watching that game, I'm sure. Florida State faces Miami at 7:30 ABC next Saturday. So we'll be previewing that on here. If you're listening right now on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, make sure you hit the like button or retweet it, share it with all your friends so then everybody can listen in here. We really appreciate it. Hit that follow button too so then you'll be able to see whenever we post a new episode. It really helps out a lot, and share it in all your FSU groups too. As always, you can also listen on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. We are on YouTube too. We saw a lot of listens. We actually had close to 10,000 listens on our last episode, which is really huge, and we really appreciate all of the newcomers coming on and listening. So appreciate you guys. I actually need to shout out our latest 10 Patreons. These people actually are the ones that pay monthly and to come inside our Discord and hang out. But let me go and name these guys: Brian Graham, JT Appleton, Kyle L., John Morris, Ben Grunwald, Alex Rashad, Kevin Lynn, Brian Farina, Dakota Lewis, Bryce, Jonathan Taylor, Ben Grunwald, Madison, Tyson Braun, Sweet Noel MV. Thank you guys so much for becoming a Patreon. You can do that at patreon.com/NoleGameday with tons of benefits with recruiting, insider, nuggets from football, basketball, and baseball, and a whole lot of other things. So that's patreon.com/NoleGameday. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's Dakota Lewis.
That's my brother.
Hey.
I had a feeling it was. That's why I laughed. I was like, that's what we love to see right there. We love it. But yeah, we've had a lot of new Patrons come on, so definitely take advantage of our Discord. It's rocking. It's really fun on game days because we're not just talking Florida State, we're also the other games in there. So appreciate you guys, everybody, for listening. Enjoy the rest of y'all's week and enjoy the weekend, and we'll be back with you guys Thursday. Thank you guys. See you guys.
Stage in the crowd, it's a mosh pit. Yeah, shout it back.